So we have one excused absence from Mr. Doug Killian. He did email and say he was going to be out of the country. And that's all I have.
That's for Doug Killian.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a motion to approve that absence?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. Been made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We have the item number 4, approval of the agenda for tonight. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Motion approved. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes for July. Do I have a motion to approve?
I motion that we approve the minutes for July.
Second.
Do I have a second to that?
Second. Mr. Robert?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, new business. And Brian.
All right, so our one action item on the agenda tonight is a final plat. So Happy Trail Farms is the owner. The final plat is actually a minor subdivision. So per the subdivision ordinance, a minor subdivision is one that only goes before you in a final plat phase. The definition of it is 5 lots or less, no more than 10 acres with no dedication of right-of-way or anything like that. So no infrastructure improvements. They're simply just cutting out one lot. So that does constitute as a minor subdivision. So you obviously wouldn't see a preliminary plat, just a final plat. So the location, it's on Church Street Extension. It's right next to the operations center for the town of Winterville. It's one lot, 1.87 acres, and the current zoning is general business. So you can see this is the actual lot here. So the operations center is right here. That's where our public works and electric department and Parks and Recs offices are housed. And this is the plat. So it's kind of washed out, but this is actually the lot. It's going to be right here. So this will be the most southern property line. So it's about an acre right here. So with that, I'll answer any questions you guys have. They have met all the requirements of the subdivision ordinance.
Do we have any questions for Brian? If there are no questions, could we entertain a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? Motion has been made and seconded.
Okay, the second. That's okay.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 7, old business, and I think that's Brian again.
So under your old businesses, if you guys will remember, Member Killian, our Vice Chair Killian, had brought up the issue of fencing regulations around stormwater ponds. But we actually had the Stormwater Advisory Committee put that on their agenda. I've included in your agenda the response from our Public Works Director, from Travis Wellborn. They did meet. That meeting was July 16th. At that meeting, they decided to keep the current standards as they are, meaning that they won't enforce or change it to require fencing around. Mr. Wellborn did state that if any planning board members or anybody else had any concerns, absolutely contact him and could actually attend the next Stormwater Advisory Committee for any further clarification. But as it stands right now, they are recommending to leave the town's requirements as they are right now. So, and I'll answer any questions I can at this time.
Well, Brian, did we say, I know we said that we were talking about fencing around it, but somehow that wasn't feasible too. But did we discuss like shrubbery or something could be put around it? But
Yes,
I guess
ma'am.
they've already decided.
They do that.
Yeah, and they do it already. So vegetation is a part of the requirements already. So some developers will go above and beyond what vegetation requirements are. Brookfield's a good example. There's one in the back there. They actually put some boxwoods around the top. So it does provide a little bit more aesthetically pleasing barrier. But there are already vegetation requirements. Some do go above and beyond what's there. But yeah, it was something definitely we did discuss it, but nothing that I know the Stormwater Advisory Committee didn't say whether or not to move forward with making them more rigorous standards or not. So they just kept it like it is.
This came about just as a question, actually.
That's
from-
right.
From Doug, yeah. Just
Yeah, I think it
inquiry.
followed, a young boy, may have drowned in one, like in Pender County. So obviously it was a safety question.
Okay, well, you again, Brian. Report from staff, number 8 on the agenda.
So I got, you see my monthly report that we put in the agenda. Summertime's typically, gets kind of hectic as far as development goes. You know, we got a lot of developers pushing dirt to get subdivisions on the ground. So we got 2 subdivisions right now, Villa Grande and Holly Grove. So they're working to get those recorded, to get those lots buildable. So we should be starting to see a lot more home building going on the next month. I will say we just had, as far as our land use plan goes, we did have a public meeting in July. Went really well. I've got the final draft version of that, the comprehensive land use plan. Just got it Friday, so I'm going through it to try to make sure we've got everything like we want it. We're going to take that to the steering committee hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And without any further setbacks, we should have it in front of this board at next month's meeting. I know it was brought up last month to try to take a good chunk of time to run through that plan. That's what we'll try to do next month. So we'll try to go through that, not line by line, but we're going to go through it pretty in depth, let you guys see it, and then make a formal recommendation whether or not to adopt or whatever you so desire to town council. So hopefully, if we're on track, the schedule should be steering committee in the next couple of weeks to you guys next month, and then the following month, council will see it for a public hearing and hopefully adoption, and we can start using that plan for all of our development recommendations. Let's see what it says.
Okay, that being said, we're down to number 9, comments from board members. Do we have any comments from anyone?
I think, did you have anything else?
No, I'm fine.
Well, I just want to ask about the buildings that's in process. Are there any plans for making studio apartments for like one person who may just want to, just stay there just long enough to, go to work, whatever?
Sure. So typically you're going to see that in what we would consider our central business district. So your studio apartments. When I think of a studio apartment, I'm thinking of a second level type, one bedroom, kind of one bathroom place. So the comprehensive land use plan does speak to that. So to try to get some mixed use, you'd have like the commercial downstairs and then the living space upstairs. But yeah, that's part of the plan. And you'll see that next month when we go through it. There's a conceptual plan for the downtown area that shows a lot of that use for it. Other than that, we don't really see a whole lot of development proposals that propose that kind of thing, especially if you get away from a downtown setting or a commercial setting. It's kind of hard to see those because you're looking at an apartment setting or a duplex setting. And traditionally, the town of Winterville just doesn't see that kind of development. But there are provisions in the land use plan for that type of use, for sure. Yes, sir. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, I have some friends that, go to ECU
Mm-hmm.
and a few that go to Pitt, and they're having trouble finding apartments, and I was just trying to get a feel of what's coming up. on the
Yeah,
horizon.
and we've got a lot of interest from developers, especially there's some land around Pitt Community College where that question's come up where would apartments be a good use, or would duplexes or attached residential structures be a good fit there? We haven't seen anything, a hard proposal come in, so it's hard for me to say, Yes, it really depends on the developers. If they can get it to fit and get approval from this board and then the town council ultimately, then yeah, I think so. But there's spots in town that it would be good for. They just got to present it in the right way, obviously. So.
And of course, you'll need a demand that people will actually have to, you know, you have to find out
Absolutely.
who really needs it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and that's on the developer's part. I mean, we don't try to do any type of market analysis for them. Stephen Penn, our economic, you guys know Stephen, he does what we call leakage rates and studies for on a broad basis that kind of show, you know, what surrounding towns are doing, what they call it leakage. So like if people are you know, buying something outside of town they could in town. I'm not sure if that really applies to like apartments, but yeah, that would be the developer's responsibility to do that type of analysis, see if that demand is there. So.
And one more question, kind of off what we're talking about. Will we be back on schedule next month?
Yes. Yep.
Do we have any other comments from board members? If we do not, then I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion that we adjourn if there's no other questions.
Ron had the motion to adjourn, and Robert second.
Oh, good. Okay. Motion to approve, seconded. Motion carried. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you,
Goodbye.
guys.
Okay.
Take it in your bed.
No.
Hey, now,
Makes you feel official.
Subdivision can go in general business.
I'm not.
You can subdivide any type of land. No. I mean, so most people are going to consider a subdivision as a residential development, but anytime you're splitting up land, that's considered